Sons of men in battle, the enemy withstand. Safe am I within the castle of God's word retreating. Nothing then can reach me. 'Tis pure land. I'm living on the mountain, underneath the cloudless sky. I'm drinking at the fountain that never shall run dry. Oh yes, I'm feasting on the manna from a bountiful supply, for I am dwelling in Beulah land. Let the stormy breezes blow their cry and not alarm me. I am safely sheltered here, protected by God's hand. Here the sun is always shining. Here there's luck and harmony. I am safe forever in Beulah land. I'm living on the mountain, underneath the cloudless sky. I'm drinking at the fountain that never shall run dry. Oh yes, I'm feasting on the manna from a bountiful supply, for I am dwelling in Beulah land. Viewing here the works of God, I sing in contemplation. Hearing now His blessed voice, I see the way He ran. Dwelling in the Spirit, here I learn of full salvation. Gladly will I tarry in Beulah land. I'm living on the mountain, underneath the cloudless skies. I'm drinking at the fountain that never shall run dry. Oh yes, I'm feasting on the manna from the bountiful supply, for I am dwelling in Beulah land.
Thank God that we're feasting on that manna. And that supply will never run dry, because there's always plenty there, and how thankful we can be for that. For our scripture this morning, I'd like to read a portion of scripture out of Psalm chapter 34. This is a favorite psalm of mine, and I'm going to just read a few verses here. I'm not sure where I'll stop yet. But Psalm 34, a psalm here of David, and he says, I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. My soul shall make her boast in the Lord. The humble shall hear thereof and be glad. O magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together. I sought the Lord, and he heard me, and delivered me out of all of my fears. Then they looked unto him, and they were enlightened, and their faces were not ashamed. This poor man cried, and the Lord heard him, and saved him out of all of his troubles. I think I'm going to stop there. This poor man cried. You know, when we cry unto the Lord, The Lord hears us, and the Lord knows what we need. The Lord gives us the strength that we need to carry out that which He has for us to do. Now for our song, let's turn to number 104 in the same book. We're marching to Zion, and let us stand together as we sing. Number 104. He that loved the God for that march. You know, just up here looking at you and seeing how you sang, I believe we're all in that march. And we're marching on to Emmanuel's ground. Thank God.
Happy day, and fix my choice on thee, my Savior and my God. Thou makest lowly heart rejoice, and tell its raptures all around. Happy day, when Jesus walks
Certainly that was a happy day when Jesus washed my sins away, and I'm sure that it was a happy day when Jesus washed your sins away. And how thankful that we can enjoy the many days since then that are happy days. We welcome everyone to the service this morning, and it's good to see everyone out on this beautiful Sunday morning. You couldn't ask for a nicer day, I don't think, because it is so good to be here this morning. A few weeks ago, we had a prayer for 3 young men before they were going to leave to go to Alaska on a mission trip. They went, had a safe trip there. They came back, had a safe trip back. And I believe they had a great experience when they were there. And now we're going to hear from them this morning.
Good morning, everyone. It's good to be back. A little bit warmer here, but it's nice. So so while we were up there, just learning a little bit more about Kingdom Air Corps and kind of their mission as far as what they were doing. You know, we found out a little bit, but just getting up there and getting to talk to the different people was just a great experience. So there's a big problem up in the northern part of Alaska. There's a lot of these natives that live up there in villages, a couple hundreds of them, and they have no access to roads, nothing. But the government funds them as far as with supplies, so they get food, all their utilities, everything they need. So they don't really have any purpose as far as they don't work, they don't really have anything to do. So a lot of them just will just fulfill their time with drinking, doing drugs, just whatever it can, and it's so bad that they just drink themselves to death. So it's sad to see. There was a kid that came to the camp. He was 6 years old, and he had no teeth because his mom drank so much that when he was in the womb, his teeth fell out. So Kingdom Air Corps is training. They have about 10 to 15 internships that they accept. They do to train missionary pilots. To go to a VBS. They have a VBS up there. Brooks Range Bible Camp is what they call it. And so these pilots will go out. They'll get the kids from the camps and bring them in from these parents that have drug and alcohol problems. But being a missionary pilot is very difficult, especially in Alaska. You have mountains everywhere. You got a lot of clouds. So they have to do a lot of training. And then, as Chuck said, he said that teaching them how to be a pilot is one thing, but their main goal is teaching missionaries and how to spread the word to these people. They said that I believe only, they trained missionary pilots, but only, was it 1 out of 10? 2 out of 10, not many actually make it to the field. It's that that extreme. So we took a bunch of pictures while we were up there, kind of give you a better idea of what it was like and what we saw from our perspective.
No, we have more technical difficulty.
Oh, okay. So while we were up there, they had work teams come up throughout the summer. They have about 10 to 12 full-time volunteer staff members. They're the ones that keep the organization running. So they have a designated airplane mechanic, a designated chief flight instructor, the facilities manager. These are all volunteers, just all, helping to try to spread the gospel to these natives in Alaska. So as you can see, we were clearing trees. This was Dave's idea, so he said that we had to get this picture of us throwing a tree. This is not real, so don't be fooled. But Dave really wanted to take this picture to try to show you guys when we get back. So first picture, you can see this is where when we landed. Really neat view. You get to see the water coming off the mountains. Can you guys hear me? Okay, they said they can hear me. I think you're good.
The rest of the pictures are real.
Yeah, the rest of them are, there's no more pictures like that. So then that top right picture, that's at the base. That's 3 of their trainer planes they have. I think they have about, I don't know, 8 to 10 maybe trainer planes, all tiny, that they train their students that come in throughout the year. So yeah, anything.
Did you get to fly any of them?
I didn't know. So at where they're at right now, this is, you have to have your pilot's license to even take off. So they actually take the students the instructors will take their students to different airport to even train, because at this ranch, the runway's only 1,800 feet, and it's grass, and there's a slope. And then also you can see the mountains in the back. Wind comes through those mountains and comes up against, making it very, very difficult for even people that had their pilot's license to land. We watched one night a flight instructor who is flight instructors are very, very well trained, and he had to do 3 go-arounds because of just the conditions. So some of the roughest conditions that you could ask for as far as being yeah, they fly in the winter. You just need the right conditions. They just wait.
Too much snow that they can land in.
A lot of times they have skis. Put skis on. They can do that. So yeah, they do. There was a lake by there. The one.
That'd be frozen in the winter too then.
Yeah, but that's more during the summer. So.
What for temperature did you have her? That guy to the left, he looks like he don't mind it at all.
It was about 40, 50s when we were up there. They said they had a abnormally cold spring. I don't know what that means to them though, because they're used to the cold.
We had a couple nights of 46 down here. Going out in the mornings.
That picture on the left, it was very windy that day too. It was blowing us around out there. You can't tell too much from that picture, but it was very windy that day.
Yeah. So this is a aerial view of the map at the ranch. So that grass. Do you have the pointer thing? Did you have that? Kind of show them.
Well, he talks. One of us did get to go up in a plane. I went with one of the instructors. We went to his bear bait station and sat in a little tree stand looking for bear. We saw a younger one. He would have shot it if it came out in the opening, but it did not. They didn't get a chance to go up because at the end of the week, the weather was too bad. It was too windy.
So right here is the runway, runs through the ranch, okay? This is where we stayed, right? Yeah, I think that's where we stayed. These are just houses for all the different staff members that are there, that live there full time. Like I said, all the different positions. You got it's where we ate, so everyone comes in there for meals. This is the airplane hangar, another airplane hangar. Down here is just more houses, and yeah. So this is where we cleared. So we came through here, we cleared all this, and we made a driveway out to here. They plan on moving houses down here and making that RV lot. The ones that are circled, yes. So these houses are gonna go here. So yeah, that's basically what we worked on for a week and a half, 2 weeks. So here's just pictures of us clearing the land. That's Chuck. That's the facilities manager there. He keeps maintenance over all the houses, all the work projects, work teams. He was in construction for about 23 years. So
He built Alaska basically.
anything within 30 miles, he was very helpful to us. It was great to get to know him, and he has a heart for the Lord, and it was just great to hear from him. So, you want to talk about chainsaws?
I mean, I guess I can.
How many you broke?
So we use chainsaws to cut down these trees and brush. So there was a guy that was taking care of them, maintenancing them. He got injured, I think last year, so no one maintained them. And Chuck tried a little bit, but he didn't do a good enough job, I guess. And we were too hard on him. So we broke, I think, at least 1 or 2 a day, and somehow got some of them back and going the next day, but most of them we didn't. So I think we went through 5 when we were there, and not all of us were using chainsaws. But yeah, you see some of the stuff that we broke, that we managed to break.
You mean you?
It's just,
That's good. That's good.
We're using construction or destruction.
That's a good question. I guess both. I guess destruction because we were clearing the trees and the chainsaws as well. So, so we spent a lot of time in the shop trying to fix the chainsaws, but we did get done what we needed to do. So it all worked out in the end. More pictures of us clearing brush. Pine trees really burn. So
Yeah, they burn you too.
they do.
well, yeah, we made multiple fires because the burn permit that he had for Alaska, I don't know if it's for entire Alaska or not, but your fire can only be 10 feet wide, and your flame can only be 4 feet. We didn't follow that, but, and you're only supposed to have 1 fire. We also didn't follow that. So we just,
But Chuck approved of it.
Yeah.
So
Proof. Who's charged proof?
we only caught 1 tree on fire. I think there's a picture in here somewhere that we caught it. Because Justin wasn't being a good fire dog,
No.
and he left the fire.
See, here's the thing. I told
Yeah.
Dave it was going to catch fire. He said, it's fine. It was not fine.
So every morning we started a day. 7:30 was breakfast, and then 8 o'clock we'd have devotions. So Dave asked all 3 of us to share our testimonies while we were up there, and he shared his as well. So yeah, and Dave got to have the lessons throughout the week. So that was nice. Good way to start your morning. You're just playing basketball. There's one of the native kids that came down to the camp the one night.
You didn't take it easy on him.
Playing basketball.
Crushed it.
There's a lot of moose. I don't know if anyone here's been up to the Canada or Alaska, but driving along the road, you're guaranteed to see a moose eventually. I think one day we seen like 9, I think was our record. So yeah, it's neat land. You guys like any
don't know
thoughts?
Well,
Nope.
so that's the church we went to on Sunday. It was just right down the road, a little ways. Glacier View Bible Church, is that what it's called? Something like that.
You can see a glacier from it, hence the name.
Yeah. The middle picture is a rough grouse me and Dave found one day, just walking down the path. And then that's a rock we saw. Dave wanted to take a picture of it, so we took a picture of it. It's pretty cool.
So that picture on the left, we went on a hike. I think it was like Wednesday or Thursday, yeah.
It was-
But what was that called? Lion's Head?
Yeah,
Lion's Head. Got on top of the mountain, you can really see out through the mountain valley. There's a glacier that runs through there. Someone built a little fort. I don't know how long they lived up there, because I don't think they would have survived too long. But yeah, some sightseeing we did. They also, so the Kingdom Air Corps, any group that comes up there and stuff, they get discounted rate on going to see a glacier. So on Wednesday, while the chainsaws were down, we went and looked at a glacier.
It's called the Manatuska Glacier.
Yeah.
It is very big.
So we hiked on it, just walked around. Very, very neat.
It was not bright out, but you did need sunglasses because any light that was there reflected right off the ice.
Was it even colder there?
The water was cold.
I mean, it was cold when we went. It started hailing. We were on the glacier. We were almost about to be done, and it started hailing on us. But that day it was actually snowing on all the mountains around us. It was either snowing or raining.
So the day that the other two went and did their thing, Brian and I went on a little cruise, a little boat called the Skana. We went out to the Gulf of Alaska there in the fjord and got to see some, I don't know how many pictures are in here of that, but got to see some sea lions, a humpback whale that might be in here with its baby. That was about a 6-hour cruise. If you've never been on a smaller ship, I don't know that, I mean, if you've been on larger cruise ships, you can definitely feel the waves on the smaller ships. We made the mistake of going to the top deck to go out, and we weren't feeling so hot, so we had to come down. We recovered, it was fine. There was about half the ship was vomiting all over the place, and then sleeping the rest of the way because they were sick. So, and they made sure to tell people, take your medication now if you're gonna take it, and they didn't listen, so. But it was a very enjoyable day. It was a little dreary as you see, but when we went out and actually got into the Gulf, there was some sunshine. And as we go through pictures here, you'll see some of the other things that we saw.
That's the same picture, I think, of the moose.
Yeah, it is. So we went into Anchorage the one night. I think that was that Sunday. And we went to this pizza place called Moose's, and we played a fun game. We did credit card roulette and had the waitress pick out a credit card for who paid. And Brian and I got a free meal, so it was very good. They told us that's like ranked number 3 in the nation for pizza. We all enjoyed it. Thanks, Jeremy.
No Pennsylvania Dutch food, huh?
Nope.
No,
No, if you want Pennsylvania Dutch food, don't go to Alaska. So this was the work team, me, Justin, and that's Chuck, which I told you about, Dave, and I think this was after we cleared the brush, so yeah. So there you get to see the aerial view of what we cleared then. We worked our way this way then, right?
So I'm still actually working on getting another aerial footage, some drone footage of the whole entire completed project. I'm just waiting for them to take it for us. So hopefully during camp meeting, we'll have that for you guys.
That whole patch is clear.
Yeah, so this was all trees here. So then we worked our way down here, we cleared out to the road, and then they didn't take any more pictures then, but the last couple of days we cleared this patch, and then we were working, that's the water, so we cleared that and worked down a little bit. So yeah, that's what we got.
On the last
done.
day, Chuck's son Joe came out and helped us, and him and Chuck are very quick and good with the chainsaws. They were knocking trees down way
They
faster.
also had different chainsaws.
Yeah, they brought their own chainsaw. They brought their own working chainsaw.
Sounds like you guys should have an axe.
I mean, it
talked
probably would
about
have been more efficient. I think we spent more time trying to get the chainsaws started and working than we did actually cutting trees down.
Chicken feet or something.
Could call it something.
So. More
But
technical.
Kingdom Air Corps is a great mission. We need people to, spread the word to people who don't have it. And I think they even said they used to go into Russia, but obviously now Russia is not a very great place to be. So, I mean, he talked about whether moving the cabins, but the big goal of it is to just expand Kingdom Air Corps and to make it some more volunteers, more pilots, more people can be trained. And they want to also reroute traffic at some point because currently it goes across the runway. So you have to stop, look both ways, and then go because you don't want to get hit by a plane. So they want to reroute the traffic, and that's part of this whole plan of moving cabins and stuff. They want to reroute traffic so it's a little safer too.
So yeah, Chuck has a bigger picture in mind, obviously. So throughout these next couple summers, he's just slowly working on one work team at a time, just getting them in here, just trying to get the big picture.
There's a lot of native land too near the airport, the Kingdom Air Corps. They actually want to purchase or lease a portion of it to expand. They're running the picture not up there, but to expand the runway. But the natives are giving some pushback. They even made them take their shed that was partially on the native land and push it off of their land. So they're trying to work with them to get some more land to make their runway a little bit longer
So that they can train the students then there
instead of somewhere else.
and pave it and stuff. Just make things a lot easier, but
Big plans for the future, so.
yeah.
Is it like the reservations they have out west for the Indians, basically? Like the natives up there?
What exactly
So
was the
like
question?
the Indian reservations out west, they're all government funded.
Yeah, it's the equivalent to that.
And then they kind of have the same problems, it sounds like.
Yep.
Yep.
Brothers and such.
Same.
Yep.
And then it's there, they have big giant swaths of land kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
That's their like sovereign territory kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds pretty
They have their
similar to
own
how it
police
was.
force and everything usually on native lands.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So,
Does they want to like get jobs and stuff?
I mean, not if you have all your supplies handed to
And the
you.
problem is since they're so secluded, they
There's nothing
can't,
around it.
they can't go somewhere to get a job. So they're either in their village doing what he was talking about, or they're homeless next to Walmart doing the same thing. We saw a lot of homeless when we went downtown Anchorage. And it gets so bad that there's 2 Walmarts, and when we went to, they're probably 2 or 3 miles away from each other.
Correct.
And the one has everything locked up, from hats, batteries, anything you want is locked up there. That's how bad their theft and their crime and their homelessness is. Whereas just 3 miles down the road in another part of Anchorage, it's not that way, because everyone congregates to there. When we were going shopping, I did a lot of shopping. There were police walking the streets because there's just, I guess, that much of an issue that they need to control some of the people there.
And yeah, Alaska's the biggest state in the United States, but it only has one road that runs up north. So they built this road. I think she said it was during World War II when Japan attacked. So Alaska's the closest state to Japan. So the United States built this road, set up military bases, whatever, and so that road's there. But other than that, there's no access for these natives to get to roads, to get to anything else. So they're just kind of do their thing in the wilderness. She said that, so Chuck's wife Rolene. She picked us up from the airport, so got to talk to her a little bit. Her daughter, she's a missionary in one of these villages. She switched villages like a year or two ago. Anyway, she said the village she's at, they still kind of fend for themselves. So said that they killed like 2 whales with spears. So they still kind of know how to survive on their own. But once the government starts helping them and stuff, they kind of just drift off. So.
Is this statue different?
This is a video.
Oh, it's a video.
Yeah. So here's a video of what we did.
Well, you're gonna go back again sometime with your own plane?
I don't know. That's a lot. We'll see.
You guys left stumps everywhere you cut trees. How
So-
do the stumps get cleaned up?
So yeah, Chuck has another work team coming in. Are they in this week? This week, next week sometime. He has an excavating crew coming in. They have a bulldozer there, and they're just coming in and leveling the ground flat.
Who's the they that has a bulldozer there? You're the Kingdom Air?
Kingdom Air Corps has a bulldozer there.
Does that work as good as the chainsaws?
I think it works a little bit better. I don't know
The
though.
young trees, so, I mean, we did that larger patch of big trees, but a lot of that land was all young saplings, so the roots aren't too deep, so it should be fine just to run it over with that.
So 20 years ago, it gets its name. They call it the ranch because it used to be a horse ranch. That area we cleared out used to be fenced in and was a pasture, but that was a long time ago. So these trees grew up, but they weren't real big. Now the section we cleared out towards the roads, those were bigger trees, but some of that was just smaller trees, so that won't be too hard to clear. But yeah, once you get to that road, then you got some bigger stumps and stuff, but I'm sure the bulldozer will clear that all out.
I can attest that they were small enough, because every single person with a chainsaw hit me with a tree, at least once.
So I guess you watch this slideshow.
So when we went to bed most nights, it was still light out. I know the one night I was up till a little after midnight and it was like twilight. You could still see. So that was much different. Now during the winter, they only have about 3 hours or so of daylight. So it does reverse. So it does get and stay dark. But we were at the time when it was starting to get bright and stay bright.
How far north exactly were you? Were you halfway up in the state of Alaska?
We were up, so Anchorage is fairly close to Russia, so we were up pretty high.
We're at the
Is
bottom.
Anchorage-
Oh, yeah.
Anchorage is on the
Yeah,
south.
side.
So we're about 2 hours northeast of Anchorage, which isn't that far in Alaska. So there's a lot of land. So we were really close. If you look on your maps, really pretty close to Anchorage.
So if you were to get on that highway you were talking about and drive down to Anchorage, how long would it take you?
It took us about an hour and a half, right?
What? Wait, was
Our base to Anchorage was about an hour and a half, I
yeah,
think.
it was an hour and a half. Yep.
The closest gas station to us was like 40 minutes, though.
Yep.
Make sure, I guess.
You don't want to get too low before you go.
Same with supplies. You know, if they need supplies, like when Berlin picked us up, we got some stuff because they don't go, like, town's 2 hours away. So it's not like, for most of us, you know, you need something, you go swing by Walmart right down the road, you gotta drive 2 hours. So make sure they use when they come to pick up groups, they make sure they use that time wisely and
They'll do
get
the
their
same with the
supplies.
supplies they need for the camp, too. They'll make a run to Costco or wherever, and they'll make a huge run and fill the truck up or whatever, and then they'll come back, do it all at once, because they don't have time for short little runs. They have to go and get a lot of stuff at once.
So now how do the natives from their little villages get around? You say they go into Walmart and they're stealing stuff or whatever. How do they get from their little villages that they're living in that are accessible only by airplane for you guys? How do they get around?
So either they live in the villages or they live on the streets. The ones that live in the villages are just there. They don't leave.
They
Like
aren't
they're
the ones at Walmart.
it's the ones that kind of like wandered off and then they're living in the streets, and then that's where they live. They'll like walking down the main road of Anchorage. There was about 10 people just laying on the benches. You
You
know.
could tell they were on drugs.
Yeah.
For sure.
So it's one or the other. It's not really both.
A little bit about the food, you said they didn't have Pennsylvania much food, so what did you?
We did eat good every day. I mean, I don't think I found a meal, but I mean, it was like we had meatloaf sometimes, we had mac and cheese and ham. So it was like normal food, but it wasn't, you know, like kind of Dutch culture food. It was just normal American food.
So a lot of the people, it's pretty neat just hearing just different stories of how God's worked in everyone's life there. You know, there's people there from Texas, Florida, just all over the United States that come up there. So they kind of just work together. And,
South America. One came up from South America.
yeah. So they have some intern. Is that what do you call that? The people that aren't citizens. I forget. Some of them that come up for the internships aren't American citizens, and but most of them are. But it's real neat how everyone there is just from all around the United States.
So in the summer, is the base camp have the same number of people in it as it does winter, or does it multiply in the summer?
During the winter, they don't do as much. So summertime is when it really opens up. Most of the student pilots come in, and they do a majority of their flying then with the pilots, because it does get up to negative 40 degrees there, so it's pretty cold. And of course, the snow and the ice can make it hard to do a lot of what they need to do. So summertime, like when we came, I think we were the first work group, and there was a bunch of people I know they were talking about how like this is like the real first week of their operations where they're in full swing. So they do die down during the winter time. But the locals who live there on the base, they still are doing their thing. But when they
What's
are,
their source of heat?
well, so what they do there, we talked to Chuck because they built Alaska. They take these foam bricks, and they have some metal supports in them, and they stack them on their concrete foundation. Now the frost line in Alaska is 10 feet, as opposed to here where it's 3. So they have to dig down pretty deep. So what they do is then they'll put these styrofoam blocks up, and they fill them with concrete and kind of stack them. They stack them all up with Legos. So that creates a thick wall and insulates it. On the inside, then they do what we do. They put, their studs in, they put their insulation, they put their drywall, whatever, one over top. A lot of them put like a log cabin on the outside or whatever. They like the wood finish because there's a lot of trees. But that insulates their houses very, very well. I know Kingdom Air Corps, where we were staying in some of the buildings, they have someone local who delivers used oil. And they kind of modified their furnaces to burn this used motor oil. So that way they don't, and the guy just gives it to them. So we were definitely kept warm throughout the week when we were in our rooms. They don't have to care as much about heating bills because they get it for free. But it does get cold, and they have to run the water line for a lot of the base from on the other side of the road. There's a spring in the mountains, and they run it underneath, and just a plastic pipe like this. So if they turn it on too early, then it freezes, and then they have to take care of that. So a lot of that water is turned off. So only the ones who actually have permanent housing there have water throughout the winter, and that's, I don't know how many, Joe and Teresa might be the only ones who live there full time, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm not even exactly sure.
Because I think the rest aren't winterized.
Yeah.
So, but.
So, yeah.
Will you go to Nome, Alaska?
Nome, Alaska? I don't really know.
You asked me that the other day, and I didn't know.
I don't know where that is, honestly.
Well, you were talking about the dogs. They were talking about the Iditarod races. They said they truck in a bunch of snow. I forget how many tons of snow she said. But they line the center street there of Anchorage, and they do their inaugural start. I think their real start's down the line somewhere yet. But they do the inaugural start, and they make a huge spectacle of it. It's pretty cool. All the dogs and the sleds go down the Anchorage with all the snow they trucked in to do the inaugural start of the Iditarod.
Where does Kingdom Air Corps get their funding? Like they partner with churches?
So a lot of it is just different churches that they get all from the States. So a lot of the staff team up there used to live in the States. And so they come down during the winter months when it's cold and there's not much to do. They come down here and they talk at different churches and stuff. And that's where they get all of their funding.
Chuck and Brolene are sponsored, I believe, by our church group, not this specific church, but I think United Christian Church in general, Dave was saying. So we sponsor them, and that's kind of how we got connected with them to do that. So, because otherwise, they need funds to operate.
Explain who Chuck is.
So Chuck's the guy that you saw in the picture. Chuck is the head of facilities.
Doesn't he have a local mechanics office where he works on?
No, he has nothing to do with maintenance, and you're thinking of someone else.
Okay.
So Chuck
There was a fellow that spoke, I thought, at mission conference last spring. At Palmyra, yeah.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
well, Dwayne King was there too. That spoke there. I'm pretty sure Dave was talking about. And he runs it.
But he said Chuck spoke at one of our churches.
Chuck spoke at Newman's.
Yep.
a few
3 or
years
4 years ago.
Yep, it was a couple years ago, but yes, Chuck did come in and speak. But yeah, he has nothing to do with the planes or nothing like that. His sole purpose is just maintaining stuff, keeping the houses warm, like you said, just all the maintenance part. And yeah, he ran a construction business for 23 years, so he's very well knowledgeable in how to work that stuff in Alaska. So it's a great blessing.
Well, their main goal is like he was saying, is to train. They actually care less about the money. So you might, I think you gave the numbers to me last week, and you can share them in a minute. But they really want to focus on getting you your pilot's license or whatever, get you trained so you can share the gospel. And it's significantly cheaper to get it through there. What were you saying the prices were for what Kingdom Air Corps charges?
So with Kingdom Air Corps, through all the people, the churches funding them, the students don't have to go into debt to get their license. So a lot of the problem is, so say someone wants to get their pilot's license and become a missionary and stuff, but they have to go $100,000 to $150,000 in debt just to get their ratings before they go into the mission field. And for 20-year-old kids, that's not going to work. So Kingdom Air Corps, that is why this became established, because they realized that problem, and so they make it so that these interns there, they're not paying for the flying lessons. It's all through the volunteer staff that they're able to do this. So they're not going in debt as much. They're able to get to the field sooner, and yeah, it all works out.
Do you know how many they have on the field right now?
So every year they get just 10 to 15 in, and then there's another organizations. I think there was 2. They have one in like Papua New Guinea, and then what was
The guy who came and spoke Iraq?
Yeah, but there's just different organizations. So once they like kind of graduate from Kingdom Air Corps, then they move to these other organizations, and then they get even like more training before they actually. So it's a long process. Like it takes 5 to 10 years till they're actually on the field, spreading the gospel. So yeah, Kingdom Air Corps is just like the starting point. So.
If Kingdom Air Corps is there, I mean, they do obviously the training, and they supply the natives with their supplies, what happens in the wintertime when they're not flying, or are they flying?
So they don't necessarily supply the natives with supplies, they supply them with the word.
So how did it, those mission people and stuff are not the ones taking the supplies in?
No. That's the government. That's
Okay,
so this is two different things. That's a good question. I honestly don't know. I know that they go up there during the winter to the natives and help them. I know Chuck was telling us some stories about how they go up there during the winter. But as far as like how that whole process works, I'm not really sure.
I just misunderstood.
Yeah. It's a good question though, but I don't know.
It's definitely different having to worry about hitting a moose rather than on a white-tailed deer. I mean, a white-tailed deer will destroy your car, but a moose will destroy you.
And the car.
They actually have a sign on the side of the road that says how many moose were hit in a year, and they have a list that you could get on that the state troopers or whatever will call you and say, "Do you want this moose?" If it's just hit, and then you can come and take it. But people have a lot of moose.
So yeah, Chuck knew that because they would come and get moose sometimes.
I think it was at 255, and I think one was just hit that night before, so they're like 256 for the year, for at least that area around Anchorage.
Was that your hamburger that you had eaten?
We did have a moose roast, so yes, we did. It was good.
So, any other questions?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He said we did a good job, so.
They wanted to keep them.
During the glacier tour, I'm glad it wasn't shown. There was a video of me going into the ice bath. There was a crystal blue pool at the top of the glacier. I went in. No one else joined me. It was like 32 degrees. It was very, very cold, but very refreshing. What? Oh, you saw the video. It was very refreshing. It was very refreshing. It's good for you. It's healthy. And then we did get to drink some of the water. I think they said it was 600-year-old water. Dave bottled some up, but he drank it all before we got down the bottom mountain. But it was good. Definitely better than this junky water they give us here. But I also collected some of the. I'm going to give you some of that. They call it glacial facial. It's the silt and mud that comes off the glacier as it pushes up underneath, because the ice pushes up through the ground. It's supposed to have good benefits. And it's used in spas and stuff. People pay a lot of money for it. So if you want some, I'll sell you some.
This guy.
I didn't use it yet.
So, yeah, they have a lot of work teams come up. Chuck said he'd stay in contact with the United Christian Church and potentially having more teams come up. So they always have projects to do. Like I said, he has a big goals, and he needs a lot of help to do them.
Different skill sets. So don't.
Did they say how they plan to move those cottages or whatever you said they're going to move?
What did he say he picked those up with?
He's either gonna pick them up and put them on a trailer and take them over, or just take two 2 petty bones or something to pick them up and carry.
Yes,
They're really not, they're not that big. Some of them are just little tiny things. And I think we're gonna maybe move these 3 other houses that are pretty big that he's not 100% sure how he's gonna move them yet, but.
Are they on slabs, some other permafrost, or do they actually put that?
No, a lot of these cabins, they're on blocks because all their pipe work is underneath there because it's just a short-term living, so they made it easy to access and then they close it in. So they just set them on these concrete pillars.
So yeah, they keep them off the ground. I'm assuming that's with like the cold. Yeah. However you design houses in Alaska, you know.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
summer cabins, just like the ones that you guys have at our camping. Just small little things. They're a little bit bigger than that, but same concept, you know, except there's some running water and stuff in those, but.
So, yeah.
And they can use all different skill levels. I mean, you don't have to, like, I'm not knowledgeable with chainsaws, but they needed someone to throw sticks on the fire and get burned, so that's what I did. So you don't have to be knowledgeable in everything. They can use you. And I made it back. They threatened to kill me almost every single day. So I had to bring this up. I had to. There was a payment offered to not have me return. Yeah, it was quadrupled by her, but you started it. And even Dave was in on it. The presiding elder, just know.
So maybe your skill set wasn't one that was required.
What?
Maybe your skill set wasn't one that was required.
Well, they'd have to do a lot more tree dragging.
So, any other questions?
That's why they were going to wait till the last day.
Okay, if not, I think we took up enough of your time, so thanks for letting us share. And you can just keep Kingdom Air Corps and stuff in your prayers. So,
Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you very much for sharing. It was very enlightening. I'm sure you had a good time and a good experience, and I know that God has blessed you for being there, and maybe we have to make a project to send them a good chainsaw. All right, now, before we close today, we have something else to take care of. There's a group that's leaving on next Sunday morning, I believe, to go to Mexico. So we want to ask those that are involved in that mission trip. You know, with all the mission trips this year, we should get a missionary out of this church. Either a lot of missionaries. We are. Yeah, we are missionaries. Now, these ain't said you have to go to Alaska or you have to go to another country, but as Mark said, we're all missionaries. And every day, whether we know it or not. My wife just mentioned just the other day, she said about can the people really see Christ in us? And that's something we have to be very careful the way we conduct ourselves every day, because we're missionaries whether we speak or we don't. It's just the way we conduct ourselves. So before we close this morning, let's ask all those, I think there's some that aren't here this morning, that are be going, but those that are be going to Mexico, you leave next Sunday morning, I think, right? And when do you come back?
The 27th, Tuesday morning.
The Tuesday morning. Okay, well then the Sunday after that, then we expect to hear from you here. All right, so those that are going to Mexico, will you please come forward? Now, some of those that are going, we're just forward, we're just here, they're going in a different direction. Now, how many are missing? There's a few here, that aren't here. Three. So there's 3 more from our Manada congregation that are also going along with that trip to Mexico? And how many are all going all together from all the churches?
22. 22.
22. Okay, and you leave next Sunday morning early while we're sleeping, and then you go to Mexico, and then you be there, and then it'll be a different experience, but it'll be another good experience. Let's stand together, and then we'll and have our closing prayer and this prayer at the same time.